this. We've seen them run this attack twice already, and I hope they've got something else up their sleeve.
Well, the crazy thing about Chinese Taipei is that day one, we saw them be adaptable with how they played their composition. Day two, yesterday, we saw them be adaptable with how they build their composition. So what are we going to see day three? They seem like the total package. The U.S. obviously doing great, having a lot of individual skill, a lot of wombo combos here and there, but I do need to think they pick it up a little bit if they want to actually win this match.
Well, their advantage, though, is that Kai did scrim when he was coaching Envy against this roster that is known as Flash Wolves over in the OPC. So I know from talking to Chinese Taipei, they were concerned about that. But since they are playing last in this round robin, there are a couple of games for Chinese Taipei to get that information. And they are going to be playing on defense first. Zonda will be playing the Sombra this time around, and United States still looking like they're going to go for that 3-tank composition that has proved successful for them. And we'll see if Chinese Taipei will be able to adapt.
I love this comp, man. It's so annoying. So many shields to get through. Sinatra
Rocket's nearly tied already.
Yeah, you got to be careful, man. Zenyatta, he's a fragile robot. You know, the steel's not as strong as you think it is. They're going to just jump right onto the point, though. Kind of bulldozing their way in there. Chinese Taipei falling back a bit. Rockets did get a little bit low again. Now Sinatra needing a bit of healing. He's on the point, though. Shield's coming up soon. K-Momo popped on the mech. Oh, but Sinatra goes down. Chinese Taipei with the man advantage right now as they try to defend against United States. K-Momo taken out. He was popped on the mech earlier. Jake in the back lines on that Tracer has to recall for a little bit of healing. But overall, it's a grind. The U.S. still fighting it out. There's the EMP, though, and Chinese Taipei immediately taking advantage of it, and U.S. gonna have to reset.
And it wasn't the EMP, Doa, that's still up. It was just a hack onto the Tracer, so not even using that ability.
It was EMP time. I'm conditioned.
I mean, the Sombra here is a great pickup against this, because previously the United States has been using the Zarya bubbles to try and force their way into the point, and now the EMP is here, and that's going to eliminate 200 HP from Sinatra if it does end up hitting him, and he's not bubbling himself at the time.
Now Rock is close to the Primal Rage as well, so close to the Transcendence as well, that is. The U.S. having some tools to work with. There's the EMP now. Transcendence immediately.
He's one-shot Sinatra.
With it. Yeah, Sinatra does go down, though. It is a problem. And the U.S. shorthanded again. Junggi does fall. He got cut out a little bit. Bacon Jack, though, pops cool map out of the mech. And Chinese Taipei, unless Fact Fiction can do something pretty crazy here, might have another defense. They got the sound barrier now, and Fact Fiction goes down. So the United States looking like they're going to have to go back to the drawing board one more time here.
And Chinese Taipei is focusing Sinatra very hard. They understand what a threat this guy is on the Zarya.
Yeah.
So in that engagement, the EMP comes down, takes 200 HP off the top. Discord Orb, immediate focus fire onto him. So he's been struggling a little bit, getting his fast to grab. He is almost there now, and that's going to be the ticket for USA. They need to play around this grab.
Yep, coming in again. What can they get with the Sinatra ultimate? They can't allow that to, okay, they're gonna go ahead and use it. They had to dodge the self-destruct though, and now the EMP coming in again. Realman does go down, supports falling on both sides, but Chinese Taipei pulling ahead in this fight already.
Sinatra needs to switch.
Unfortunate Graviton Surge. Yeah, I mean, he used it right after the self-destruct was activated by a K-Momo, and so nobody could really take advantage of it.
All right, Jake is going to make the swap onto the Genji with a little more than a minute remaining on the United States attack. Sinatra on the Tracer now. They have had to adapt to a full dive composition.
Yeah, they got to be aggressive, but already Zonda getting in the back lines with the Sombra. We saw him sneak back there a little bit, looking for maybe a pick onto Raucus. The U.S., they need to really make this push work here.
That they do. Jake gonna be poking around from the side right now. Junggi still in the top part of Cafe, looking for the opportunity to dive.
Yeah, Chinese Taipei has fallen back into Cafe again. Bacon Jack a little bit low. Had to use a recall on the Tracer, but no punish yet. There's a Transcendence coming in from both teams right now. Self-destruct for the U.S. Cool Matt, not finding any picks with that one just yet. He goes back on the point, but there's the EMP from Zonda one more time. Immediately, though, the sound barrier comes in response. Both teams dropping that Lucio out. Another self-destruct. K-Momo picks up the kill on Fact Fiction, and again, Chinese Taipei is holding the United States. Maybe one last desperation push here.
That's all they're going to have, Doa. I mean, that EMP, yes, it came in before the sound barrier from the U.S., but they still had one of their own in reserve. Realman drops the beat in order to counteract it, and United States really struggling on this attack.
All right, the U.S. has to get in there. This is it, man. 5 seconds left. They need to get on the point. They need to make something happen. Sinatraa looking for a pulse bomb. He needs a big one. Has to fight Bacon Jack.
Gets Bacon Jack.
He wins the duel, but he needs to get back on the point right now. Good start, Sinatraa, even with time for a wave there. Primal Rage for Jung-Yi, trying to just force the United States out. Fact-Fiction did fall. It's a problem for the U.S. Oh, but they're coming back in. Jake with the Dragon Blade grabs 3, looking for more in the U.S. in overtime. Looks like they're at least going to be able to get the payload rolling.
And that was such a huge duel win from the Tracer. Bacon Jack goes down to Sinatraa, and that gives the U.S. the 6v5, allows them to charge up the Dragon Blade, and in overtime, push it the rest of the way.
Well, here's Jake's Dragon Blade one more time. I mean, we know that Chinese Taipei was pulling up in the cafe for quite a bit of that defense, and that left him pretty vulnerable to the Dragon Blade.
Yeah, particularly when Jung-Yi was not there to actually shut down the Genji. He had the Primal Rage on the opposite side of the point and then make his way over. That little bit of time caused a huge amount of damage to be done to the Zenyatta and K-Momo's Diva.
The issue still exists for the United States so that they don't have a lot of time for this push. Only a minute 40, and although Westworld is usually a point that most teams can push through, they generally have more time to do it. So it's still a tough spot for the U.S.
It definitely is, but at least they will be helped out by an ult reset from Zonda here, who will be moving to the Soldier 76, trying to go back to that Soldier Tracer play that we've seen so much of.
Oh, Zonda takes on Fact-Fiction. Good start for Chinese Taipei here. Cool Matt having to retreat a little bit back to the high ground. He's so low, he's going to get demeched here. That's going to be a problem.
They should let him live for a little bit too, trying to stagger him as much as possible. No way for Cool Matt to actually get the reset right now. Is going to be nailed with a Helix rocket at the end of the fight.
And the United States can't afford this, man. I mean, this is not a moment where they can kind of wait to reset here. They don't have a lot of time. They need to get back on the payload in a hurry, but at least now they've got a bit of an ult advantage to maybe win a big fight with.
Yeah, they have been building up those ultimates. Raucus, not with the nano boost, but everybody else has theirs available. This push going to mean a whole lot for the United States, and there's the sound barrier coming down right off the bat.
Looking for the kill, finds Sinclair immediately.
K-Momo though.
Yeah, that's right. Finds Fact-Fiction. Jake falls as well. So unfortunately for Team US, the Dragon Blade not quite as successful this time around. And now it's 30 seconds left for the US to finish this fight and reset. And unfortunately for Cool Matt, he is going to be way delayed. Oh, they actually killed him pretty quick. Okay, well, that's actually good for the U.S.
Raucus was still up, but even so, Doa, you're looking at about 12 seconds after they spawn for them to get all the way over to the cart. This is a desperation push for the United States. Fact-Fiction has his Primal Rage, so he will be able to delay it long enough for the rest of his team to get there.
Yeah, he's got to buy some time for sure. Sinatra's sneaking around the outside. He doesn't have the Pulse Bomb. He's pretty far away from it, actually. Coming down now, has to activate that overtime, and Fact-Fiction jumping in. Got a little bit of damage to do before he pops that Primal Rage. Jung-Yi already using his Winston ultimate to try to keep the U.S. off the cart right now. Chinese Taipei playing this pretty conservatively. Fact-Fiction gets the nano boost, and there we go. The Primal Rage coming in, just trying to zone Chinese Taipei away. Get a little bit more damage done. Zonda does get the kill onto Jake, though. So good start for Chinese Taipei. Realman with another one, the finishing blow on Fact-Fiction. And that's a lot of blue on the payload right now, man. United States having a lot of trouble, and that self-destruct is going to zone them out. Cool Matt and Adam both going down here, and Zonda's going to finish it off. Chinese Taipei with a hold on point B here on Hollywood.
Yeah, looking good while they were doing it too, forcing the overtime on point A. And they do manage to finish out without getting that point B taken. So real opportunity here for Chinese Taipei to go ahead and take the first map in this series. USA, we're going to be looking for a full hold. Yep. And I hope they have more tricks on defense. I'm really surprised that we saw Team USA try that same Zarya attack, because Chinese Taipei was very ready for that. They knew how to target select in that scenario. They knew how to play the Sombra around the aggression. Basically, the idea for USA is you run your tanks into the bottom of Cafe and bully them out. But they couldn't really get there because everybody was getting hacked, and the EMP was preventing them from having their abilities by the time they even got to the Cafe in the first place. So that's a great strategic adjustment that we've seen from Chinese Taipei. They are ready, and America has to bring out new stuff today and force them to react on the fly.
That's right. Adaptability has been the key for Chinese Taipei all week. Now the U.S. needs to show a little bit of their own, especially on defense here. Looks like they're going to go for a pretty standard comp. from what we've seen, but that yellow square on the ground is all the farther Chinese Taipei needs to push the payload to win Hollywood and take a lead in this series. Now, of course, both of these teams are moving on to the playoffs later today. Neither one's going to get eliminated or anything, but you kind of want to get that first place spot in your group. Maybe get a little bit of an easier match in the playoffs for that spot at BlizzCon. So
I would say a lot
for.
easier match in the playoffs.
Yeah, you look at the difference between the teams there. Maybe you're right.
I think there's
maybe you're right.
I think there's a big difference in Group H between what will end up being #1 and #2, barring some extreme differences in the quality of play that we've seen from those teams today compared to the previous couple.
Bruno. Here we go. Chinese Taipei on the attack. United States setting up their defense. And Chinese Taipei going with some pretty standard dive, as you might expect.
Yeah, they are going to be running this Soldier and the Tracer, and the way they play this is based around Zonda's poke damage. So he'll run all the way to the back of the point now, try and shoot some rockets up there, and Jeonggi will just wait. Yeah,
Jeonggi's basically Zonda's bodyguard right now.
That's actually a really nice biotic grenade from Rockus there. Yeah. So they get the pick onto Zonda. He tried to sprint out, no healing possible. And
all right, Jeonggi may need to rethink his bodyguard career, I guess, at this point. Yeah. And Sinclair takes down Sinatra, but Chinese Taipei being pushed back a little bit here.
Well, it's actually great for Chinese Taipei, though. Even spawn timers. K-Momo, though, the crucial stagger kill at the end. So USA will have a nice opportunity to get everybody back onto the point. And Chinese Taipei used a lot of time to go for the long flank around the backside, and Raucus really shut it down with the biotic grenade quite quickly.
True enough. Back on that Ana. He's nearly got the nano boost, which is going to be helpful, as well as Chinese Taipei comes back in, taking a different route this time, going up to the high ground. Maybe they'll jump across to the cafe, we'll see.
I think they're respecting the Ana this time. They want the defense matrix there to eat any kind of biotic grenades that come on through. Yeah. Also, just having that perception over the high ground over the point right now, very useful. Trying to demech the Diva.
Look at the Discord sleep dart onto Zonda, though. That's a problem. Nearly gets picked off, gets out with his life, though. Has his team there to support him. The U.S. on the point for the moment. Chinese Taipei taking a long time to try to get something out of this poke.
That Sinclair actually takes Sinatra, and this is where we usually see Chinese Taipei hit the go button. They got the pick they need, and now it's going to be time for the all-in.
Raucus falls well. Zonda hasn't even needed to use his tac visor just yet. Jake using his. They're on the run. There's the self-destruct now, but the United States in a lot of trouble here on the defense. K-Momo takes down Jake, and Chinese Taipei with a big advantage here on Point A Hollywood. And now Zonda goes in and pops attack visor. No more Diva to worry about. Just has to burn down that primal raging Winston. They'll go ahead and use the sound barrier as well, and it's really looking like Chinese Taipei is going to get the payload rolling here.
Yeah, especially with Coolmat still outside of his mech and going to be mowed down very late. Can't hit any of their shots, and he will get taken out with a Helix rocket. It will be difficult for the U.S. to get back on the point right now. Everybody from Chinese Taipei piling on, and they will cap.
So quite a bit more time for Chinese Taipei in the time bank as they get their push started here on Point B.
And such patience from the Chinese Taipei squad. This is what we've come to appreciate from their gameplay. They will just sit there and poke you and wait and wait and wait until you make a mistake, until they get a pick with Zonda or Bacon Jack. This time it was Sinclair to get the kill onto Sinatra, and that's when the all-in occurs. That's when Bacon Jack got the pulse bomb onto Raucus, went in, and they're able to take the point. That pulse bomb gonna hit a whole lot of ground.
Oh, they're gonna commit to it anyway. They do get the kill onto Sinclair here. United States jumping in for early defense here on Point B, but they need to be aggressive about this defense.
They have to be, They just don't have any time or any room to waste here in the Westworld stage of Hollywood, because there's 3.5 minutes remaining, and they don't even have to get all the way through the map. But Jake will cut Jeonggi out of the air.
I was going to say, that was a very aggressive primal rage from Jeonggi. I mean, he thought maybe he could get the kill onto Fact Fiction, but that really backfired, and now the United States has a really good amount of breathing room to get the high ground back to set up a strong defense.
And they do have a big advantage in ult economy too. 4 ults, and Adam over 60% right now. Chinese Taipei still playing catch up in that regard, considering how much they used to take the point in the first place.
2:45 left on the clock for Chinese Taipei, only needing to push it a bit farther through this point. But like you mentioned, Monte Cristo, the U.S. has ults to use. If they can be efficient with it, they've got a chance to hold here. Chinese Taipei, they know they've got the time to play this a bit more patiently.
And they're just playing the game that they like to play. Stay back, wait for the opening, wait for the opportunity, and don't try and force it. So right now, Sinclair just trying to cut around these corners, see if he can pick any pickoffs right now.
Oh, got to be careful. Fact Fiction jumping in. gets out, had that Orb of Discord on him. Now Transcendence used by both teams as they go in. Pulse Bomb not finding any kills. US and Chinese Taipei drop the sound barriers, but Bacon Jack finds that pick on the Sinatra. Good start, although Jake did take down Realman too. So both teams trading blows here, but Chinese Taipei edging ever forward. That payload is getting scary close to finishing the map for Chinese Taipei, but now Sinclair goes down.
Coming
and the US, coming in. Jake with that Soldier 76, able to get the picks they need to push Chinese Taipei back again.
And everything was used from both teams in that fight, Doa.
Wow.
No ultimates are going to be available. Huge investment from both sides.
Yeah, so now it's about the picks. Now it's about trying to find those important individual kills. K-Momo demeched, and that's actually a great thing for the US to not have to worry about that Diva for a little while.
Well, they are going to just go ahead and swap off and reset the ultimate, though. Coolbat in a similar situation, however, does get his mech back right now, right before the fight starts. And Jake, another critical kill, this time onto Sinclair. He is doing the hard carrying on this American roster right now.
And now if you're Chinese Taipei, you're starting to get a little bit worried because you've only got a minute left, and the US's defense has been really strong here on point B.
And you're also concerned, Doa, because Realman and Sinclair dying has made it so the US has gotten a support ult advantage. And those defensive ultimates with this small amount of time left are going to be a real concern for Chinese Taipei.
That's right. US needing to just play safe, needing to not give up any opportunities for Chinese Taipei. A pick here would be devastating. Bacon Jack looking for just that thing, and he's got the Pulse Bomb to do it. Sinatra, though, trying to keep an eye on him. There's a Tracer duel again. Sinatra getting a little bit low. Bacon Jack backing away, gets the heal.
Misses it.
Pulse Bomb goes in. He doesn't get the stick. That ult being out of the way is pretty important for the US. Here we go, though. Jake goes in, pops attack visor. Sinatra takes down Realman. A good start for the United States. Bacon Jack, but seeing his team fall around him, and the US with that Transcendence able to get more aggressive now. Zonda getting a lot of that damage absorbed by Coolmat, who does eventually get popped out of the mech, but we know what he can do with that Bunny Blaster. Zonda looking for more, though. He's got the high ground. Sinatra needing to be careful here, and now Chinese Taipei bringing it back again. Sound barrier coming in for the US, but maybe a little bit late here, as Chinese Taipei has that numbers advantage, but now the US swinging the fight again. This is crazy, man. This is one of the biggest back and forth fights I've seen.
Another pulse bomb for Bacon Jack, but it's going to miss again. As Zonda trying to throw himself on the card. They need to get on, and America is going to hold.
Oh, the USA takes Hollywood in a pretty epic defense.
That was very nicely played by America. It looked a bit desperate after their poor attack, but they came together on that defense in Westworld and held strong. Jake doing a lot of the work, getting the crucial picks to start those fights. And it caused Chinese Taipei to get a little bit flustered. And that's the problem with the style of Chinese Taipei. Yes, you can be methodical, you can sit there and poke, but it loses a lot of time. So when you're not successful after waiting for so long, you don't have much time to work with on the clock, and it can come back to bite you.
Well, that was extremely impressive by the US. I think we were all a little bit worried going into that attack phase for Chinese Taipei. They took point A pretty quick. Had a lot of time for point B, and that's not an easy point to hold either. You don't see a lot of teams getting holds on point B, so to have two of them, it's pretty shocking.
The American team definitely pulling that one off, and we are going to be moving into Nepal for our control map.
I think the encouraging thing as we look at this replay from Jake, this is the one that got the point A in the first place. The encouraging thing for the US is we're seeing a level of poise from them in this first map, at least, that we didn't see in the previous days. They look like things are a little bit tighter today, which is exactly what they needed.
Yeah, they definitely have to have that there, and not getting flustered in a scenario where you didn't have the perfect attack. Your strategy that you've been using was ineffective, and then being able to steel yourself and make a strong defense, not go on tilt, not have any kind of issues, mental issues coming into that match is impressive.
So we are going to Nepal. And if you're an antifreeze salesman, there's no better place to make a lot of money than an Omnic monastery up in the snowy mountains.
Do they need antifreeze, though?
Hey, I'd imagine.
I would assume they would. They do have mechanical components, right?
Yeah, there's some really rich antifreeze salesmen up there. Oh, a whole new market. Well, here we go. Looks like we're starting things off on Sanctum. United States in red once more. Chinese Taipei in blue. And we'll see if Chinese Taipei can tie things up or if the US will jump out to a 2-0 lead before the break. It's been an exciting match so far, though. This is what we were looking for.
Absolutely. And it looks like we are going to have mirror comps. No surprise, you will see the Soldier, particularly on Sanctum, thanks to the long sight lines and the fact that you can play opposite the point.
Yep. I've never really seen it from this angle. It's pretty cool.
That's great.
I love the maps in this game.
They are beautiful.
They are pretty awesome.
Well, this game going to get underway shortly. Nobody's switching up any of their looks so far. Jake's been showing a large hero pool this game, but after being on fire as 76 last game, just going to head and stick with it and meet Chinese Taipei head on with one of their favorite compositions.
That's right. Here we go, on board with Adam on that Lucio. Certainly has had some good plays over the course of the tournament so far. Fighting on that high ground above the stairs, as we often see in this map. Wow, aggression from Chinese Taipei coming in right away. Cool map nearly demeched right off the bat. And the United States forced to back off just a little bit early on.
They got poked very hard by that engagement. Yeah. And nobody on the Chinese Taipei side getting low until Sinclair nearly falls right now.
Oh, dude, he's so low, but he manages to get those shields building up again. Jake does fall, though. Bacon Jack finding the picks, and it looks like Chinese Taipei is going to get the control points building early here.
Yeah, they are. A little odd that we saw Jake on the side by himself dealing with the Tracer in a 1v1. Sinatra going to D-back K-Momo. K-Momo throws himself off the edge to get his suit back, and now it's going to be a reset here for the United States as Chinese Taipei goes out to an early lead on Nepal.
That's right. Coming in again aggressively. I mean, the United States did get some picks right at the end there, so they don't have to fight the full Chinese Taipei team immediately. They could just jump in. We'll see what they decide to do.
They're all back now, so time window has passed for that.
They weren't able to set up that defense at the choke by the spawn, which is usually what we see a lot of teams trying to do. Support ultimates used now as the United States tries to claim the points. Sinatra trying to back cap it a little bit here. He's in the duel now. Tracers fighting Tracers. We'll see what Bacon Jack can do.
He had to use the rewind, though, because Bacon Jack had the shield. But even so, Raucus is going to get some crucial pickups. Back Fiction now on the point, trying to contest it.
Yeah, Back Fiction chases away Zhongyi for the moment here. The United States hasn't been able to flip it just yet, but they're so close. Oh, but it looks like Chinese Taipei is going to hold for now.
Zonda was really uncontested at the end of that fight, firing onto the point. So without trying to deal with that Soldier 76, not an opportunity for them to flip it. They were very nearly there, but couldn't quite finish it off. And now looking at Chinese Taipei, they do have the Transcendence up. Adam's going to be answering with a sound barrier, however. See if Jake can get a good tack visor off and try and cull the members of this Chinese Taipei team.
Good Transcendence. K-Momo was about to be demeched, so good start for Chinese Taipei. Cool Matt does lose his mech. Zhongyi dives back for a little bit of healing here. United States not quite able to get too much purchase. They did flip the point, though. Somehow they snuck in there, and they're getting the control percent building now. But Chinese Taipei, we'll see if they can get back on there. They did lose Bacon Jack. Jason back, that doesn't make any sense. Zonda pops attack visor as the United States falls back for a little bit of waiting time. Yeah, that's going to give Chinese Taipei maybe the opportunity to flip it back. No, maybe not. United States finally getting some serious control percent building here.
Again, Jake just rounds the corner and takes out Zonda. Jake had the Orb of Discord on him and was hit by the Helix rocket, but it's just not quite enough to finish off the kill. So Jake pops out, finishes the kill, and that's going to mean that the United States are going to hold on to this point for a little bit longer.
That's right. Hi. Sinatra's a very friendly guy, you know? Hey, what's up?
It's one of his ticks, actually, if you watch a lot of his play, constantly spamming the high.
Who doesn't do that, though? I do that all the time, man. You gotta do something while you're waiting for the next action. United States trying to catch Chinese Taipei at the choke here. And they've got them bottled up for the moment. Back Fiction, he can be aggressive. He's got that primal rage in case things get a bit hairy, which I know with Winston is pretty much all the time. But you get the idea.
Definitely all the time.
You get the idea. You know what I'm saying.
And they're just being very patient right now. They're trying to keep them in the room, not allowing them to get past this point.
Oh, Cool Matt demeched. That's a problem for the United States here. Transcendence coming out for Raucus now. Back Fiction still sitting on the point. There's a primal rage.
He's trying to get.
Can he get the knockoffs? That was so close. Oh, he gets taken down though. Chinese Taipei with a chance here to win the fight and flip the point. The United States getting close to 90 control percent right now.
Jake in trouble.
Trying to stay alive.
Actually does get bounced back the other way.
Spry. Jake gets back there.
And he gets the kill on the Bacon Jack. Wow. Oh, Jake on top of his game.
Oh, that is not the time you want to use self-destruct. K-Momo gets nothing out of that one. United States in prime position to win this round. Realman, the only one left from Chinese Taipei on the point. Lucio can bounce around, but he can't hold the point. OT ticking away, and the United States, as soon as they, Bacon Jack gets 2 though.
He has to get back on the points on the boot off. And he can't get there. Well, Toby's not here, Noah, so.
Well, you know, we still see boops. U.S. takes round 1. There it is, boops for the boot god.
Toby's not here.
That's my man right there, yeah. I like that guy. Well, United States wins a pretty close round 1 here on Nepal. It has been really close between these two teams, but the U.S., they found the picks, they found the plays in the end to make it work.
Adam had the perfect timing for that sound barrier in the last fight. We saw Chinese Taipei commit both support ultimates very early on, and then allowed Jake to help. It really just allowed him to stay alive throughout that engagement. Very close to getting knocked off the map by Junggi, but somehow makes the hero play of not only staying alive, but having the wherewithal to kill the Tracer to nail Bacon Jack with the Helix rocket in the ensuing scuffle.
Yeah, well, United States coming into the high ground. We're on Village now. They nearly lost Sinatra early, but kept him alive for the moment. The early skirmish, they take down Zonda fast. He got a bit separated from his team. United States with a good opportunity here if they can finish this fight off to get the control percent rolling early on. Bacon Jack really low too, man. There he goes, Sinatra finding the pick there. U.S. coming out strong here on Village.
DPS players from the United States doing work, and they will get the first capture as they try and lock up control.
Yeah.
Chinese Taipei going to be coming back together. Zonda still on the Soldier 76, so no changes here, and the United States beating Chinese Taipei at their own game.
Yeah, I mean, Zonda's fine on the Soldier 76, but the U.S. have just been really good at kind of handling the directions he's coming in from.
I mean, Jake's been great on the Soldier as well. He's definitely been the better Soldier player here today.
Yeah, I got to be cautious here. You're kind of under the line of fire for the whole team, and if you're in that place. Oh, nice shot onto Realman. What a pick, what tracking from Jake to get that one. Chinese Taipei unable to flip the point just yet, and Jake can save that tac visor for now. They're going to go and use the Transcendence. Support ultimates on both sides here. Sinatra throws out the pulse bomb. No kills from that, but he does zone Chinese Taipei back a bit. Jake does fall though. Transcendence coming into the United States now as they try to hold on to the point. It's getting a little bit risky though. Sinatra just doing everything he can here. Nice kill onto Zonda, but they need more.
And they have to keep picking up these kills, and that's not going to be enough. We are going to see the point flipped eventually here for Chinese Taipei. Bacon Jack has been at his most successful when he's actually able to take Jake out in the back line. That has to be their focus right now, putting pressure on Jake because he's had a bit too much freedom.
Yeah. All right, well, the U.S. with about 58%. Not a bad start here.
Well, especially for Chinese Taipei, though, while they're coming back into this, Sinclair nearly with his ult up again, so Transcendence back soon, and Chinese Taipei sitting on 5 ults.
Yeah, they have the capacity to efficiently hold this. Adam zoned out by Junggi. That's going to be a problem as he tries to get back to his team. There's the boop, trying to get the Winston just away a little bit.
Jake getting attacked in the back line right now, too. Is going to be able to heal up. Coolmat not demeched yet. Jake going to try and use this tac visor, but he will be chased away.
Yeah, Junggi finds the kill here, and that's a problem. Rockets went in afterwards. Rockets actually got the revenge kill, and the United States did flip the point through all of that, but Chinese Taipei got the kills. They're going to be able to flip it right back here, it seems like. Sinatra trying to buy as much time as he possibly can with that Tracer. Not going to get kills, but at least he can get the U.S. a few more percent. They jumped up to 70.
That's actually a big deal. Zonda going to start out here with the tactical visor. They're cleaning up the point, trying to deal with Coolmat. Doesn't have the defensive matrix to use right there. And that's going to be enough. So Chinese Taipei, Junggi holds on to the Primal Rage crucially. And United States still committing more ultimates on that last play and only getting a few percent. So Junggi going to play in the corridor right now.
I was going to say, Junggi getting very aggressive, but he had the Primal Rage to back it up. But the United States says, okay, go ahead and go away. We're just going to back off and wait it out. And now Chinese Taipei, maybe with a little bit of a disadvantage, not having that Winston to ult there. They're going to go in now. Coolmat getting a little bit low, needs some heals. Transcendence will do it. Got to stick with that Zenyatta, though. They're going in.
Jake gets Bacon Jack
falls early. There's the self-destruct. They've got the Winston bubble to keep them safe, though. They're going to dodge anyway. K-Momo does get the D-Mech onto Cool Matt 69 at least.
Yeah, but they need some kills, though, and that's the crucial thing right now. Sinatra trying to get in there, does land a pulse bomb, and that's going to be a kill onto Jungi. Now they're chasing Zonda back, and that's will be Team USA flipping the point right now, close to 99% once they finally get K-Momo down.
That kill on Jungi from Sinatra was so clutch. That was the go-ahead kill that let them win the fight, and now they are getting so close. But Chinese Taipei already there, 99%. The US cannot afford to give this up again.
And the problem, though, is Realment is so close to the sound barrier. United States needs to focus him immediately, because if he gets that up, it should be Chinese Taipei able to win this in overtime and grind out that fight. So
yeah, Zonda's got the, well, I guess both Zonda and Jake are going to have their tac visors, so parity there.
Yeah, you see Chinese Taipei, though. They're waiting as long as they can. They want to get these ultimates up. They know they're going to have that support ult edge.
Yep, all right. Jake trying to find an opportunity. He zones out Realment. That's big. They know they need to watch out for that Lucio ultimate. Oh, Jake getting juggled, though, by Jungi. A lot of alliteration, but you know what it means.
There
Chinese Taipei, they drop the sound barrier now. They flip the point back again. The U.S. needs to win this fight. Chinese Taipei on the verge of tying up Nepal here. Rockets does get the kill onto Sinclair. There we go. The United States coming in with the kills they need. A later sound barrier, and they might be able to flip it. We'll see how long Zonda can stay alive.
And I think they're going to do it, Doa. K-Momo has been desuited. They're chasing the soldier off. Cool Matt zoning him out with the defensive matrix. Not an opportunity. They still haven't actually capped yet.
OT, that's it. U.S. takes Nepal. They are 2-0 in this series.
That was a dicey situation, though, with the sound barrier up first, but the value just wasn't there for Chinese Taipei. They didn't get the kills, and that gave Adam enough time to build his up. And they will go up 2-0.
What a close match. What an epic start to this 4-game